Welcome to a new episode of the podcast. Vox Agent is made by AI for business executives that work with AI. Today we're taking a deep dive into something truly transformative, the fascinating world of AI agents for enterprise. Specifically, we're unpacking Amazon Bedrock AgentCore.
That's right. And our sources for this deep dive, well, they give a really comprehensive look at AgentCore. Its features, sure, but also its competitors, and some, frankly, incredible real-world applications already happening. It's a shift that could really fundamentally change how you operate.
Absolutely. So our mission for you today is simple. We want to distill the most important insights, help you understand the why behind this really critical industry shift, and empower you with a solid grasp of how AI agents, and AgentCore specifically, are poised to transform business operations. You should walk away feeling well-informed, ready to navigate this new frontier. So let's start with the big picture. When we talk about AI agents, especially in the AWS context, what are we actually referring to? It's clearly more than just a chatbot, isn't it?
Oh, far more, yeah. In AWS's view, an AI agent is basically an autonomous system. It perceives an input, usually natural language, then uses large language models, maybe other AI techniques too, to make decisions. It reasons through complex steps and actually executes actions to achieve whatever goal the user set. Think of it like an AI that doesn't just chat, but can actually do things like calling APIs to process a return or generating a whole market analysis report.
What's fascinating here is that this isn't just AWS pushing this. There's a real industry consensus building that 2025 is like the year of the AI agent. We're seeing major players across the board launching their own platforms. It signals a pretty profound shift, doesn't it? Moving beyond static conversational bots to dynamic, agentic workflows that can handle really complex stuff.
Precisely. And if you look at who's leading this charge, you see a few key categories emerging. First, the big cloud providers, the hyperscalers, Amazon with Bedrock AgentCore, naturally, but also Microsoft's Azure AI Foundry Agent Service and Google's Vertex AI Agent Builder. They're all in. Then you've got the big enterprise software firms. Think Salesforce with Agentforce, ServiceNow with their AI agent platform. Their angle is often deep integration into their specific domains like CRM or ITSM.
Right, domain specific.
Yeah.
And we absolutely can't forget the open source ecosystem here. It's just exploded, hasn't it? Frameworks like LangChain, LangGraph, Crew AI.
Yeah.
They're popping up everywhere. And these aren't just side projects. They're driving huge innovation and, crucially, often designed to work with managed platforms like AgentCore.
Exactly. And this interest, it's not just talk. IBM did a survey, 1,000 enterprise developers. Get this, 99% are either exploring or actively developing AI agents. So for you, as an executive, that's a massive signal. Your competitors, your own teams, they're moving in this direction. It's not niche anymore. It's becoming fundamental to how software gets built and deployed.
Okay, so it's clear this is a major trend. The industry's embracing AI agents at scale. Now, the big question for a lot of our listeners is, how do you actually do this in an enterprise setting? And that brings us squarely to Amazon Bedrock AgentCore. It's AWS's answer, currently in preview, designed for deploying and operating these agents at scale. What's under the hood?
Right. AgentCore is essentially a managed stack. 7 modular components, each built for a specific enterprise need. Let's start with the foundation. The AgentCore runtime. Think of it as the agent's secure, dedicated workspace in the cloud. Now, the really crucial part for you as an executive, it can handle tasks that run for hours, up to 8 hours actually, with built-in recovery, checkpointing. It's not just a theoretical limit. It means agents can tackle genuinely complex, long-running processes, things like financial reconciliations, deep market research spanning days, maybe a full customer onboarding workflow, reliably, without just, falling over halfway through. It's built for serious enterprise work.
8 hours. Running autonomously. That's a huge step up. It opens up completely new types of automation. And for those complex tasks, I imagine these agents need pretty good memory, right, to keep track of things.
Absolutely. That's where AgentCore Memory fits in. It's a managed memory store, basically. Offers both short-term memory, just for the current session or task, and long-term memory that sticks around across different sessions. The key benefit, it saves your teams from having to manually set up and manage databases just for agent context. So agents can deliver smarter, more personalized experiences by remembering past interactions.
Okay, so they can run for a long time, they can remember things.
Yeah.
But how do they actually do stuff? Interact with our existing systems, our CRM, our ERP, maybe external services.
That's the job of the AgentCore Gateway. This component is really critical. It's the secure tool integration and API gateway. Its main purpose is connecting agents securely to all those external tools, services, and data sources you mentioned. And it does this using an emerging standard called the Model Context Protocol, or MCP.
MCP. Yeah. For listeners maybe not deep in protocol specs, what does that actually mean in practice? Is it like a universal translator for AI tools?
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, think of MCP as the emerging common language, the lingua franca for AI agents and the tools they need to use. It lets an agent understand how to talk to different APIs, whether it's your internal SAP system, a legacy database, or some third-party weather service in a standardized way. This massively simplifies integration, makes the agents way more versatile. There was a healthcare company, Innovaxor, they called it a game changer, because it let them basically auto-convert their existing APIs into tools the agents could use securely. Much less custom coding, much faster deployment.
Security is always paramount in enterprise.
Yeah,
So I assume there's a specific piece focused just on managing what agents can and can't access.
definitely. That's AgentCore Identity. It provides built-in identity and access management specifically for agents, and it integrates smoothly with your existing enterprise identity systems, like Microsoft Entra ID, for example. This lets agents get temporary secure tokens to call services instead of, hard-coding dangerous credentials into the agent itself. Itaú Unibanco, the big bank, they specifically highlighted this as crucial for their compliance and security. It ensures agents only do what they're explicitly allowed to.
Right. And inevitably, sometimes things won't go perfectly, or you just need to understand why the AI did what it did. That's where Agent Core observability comes in, I guess.
Exactly. And this is a huge deal for transparency, which has been a challenge with AI. It's a monitoring and logging dashboard built right into Amazon CloudWatch. You get real-time metrics, yes, but also really detailed trace logging of every single decision the agent makes. There's even a session replay feature for debugging. It gives you a complete auditable trail of the agent's actions and reasoning, invaluable for compliance, troubleshooting, just understanding what's going on.
So the agent can even browse the web. That sounds incredibly powerful, but also maybe a bit risky. How does that work?
It can, yes, but securely. Using the AgentCore browser tool, this is essentially a secure, serverless, headless browser. It lets agents interact with websites, scrape information, fill out forms, but it all happens within AWS's controlled, sandboxed environment. So it expands what the agent can do, massively gathering external data, automating web tasks without exposing your corporate network directly.
Interesting. And mirroring some features we've seen in, say, OpenAI's models, there's a code execution part too,
Yeah.
for more analytical stuff.
That's the AgentCore code interpreter.
Yeah.
It's a sandbox environment where agents can write and run code on the fly. Think Python scripts for data analysis, maybe generating visualizations or running complex calculations. It really boosts the agent's problem-solving power. They don't just fetch info, they can actually process it and derive insights directly. Very usable.
What really strikes me about Agent Core looking at these components is the underlying philosophy. It seems very focused on openness and flexibility, like being framework agnostic. You can use any LLM, Bedrock models like Titan or Claude, or external ones like GPT-4, and bring your own framework too, like LangChain, Crew AI, Llama Index. That must really help with worries about vendor lock-in, right?
Absolutely. That's a key design principle. And its support for those emerging standards like MCP and even potentially Google's agent-to-agent protocol aims for interoperability. It means down the line, an AgentCore agent might be able to work seamlessly with, say, a Google agent on a task. Now, if you look quickly at competitors, you see similar building blocks, but maybe different priorities. Microsoft's Azure AI Foundry agent service, for instance, really emphasizes trust by design and deep ties into the whole Microsoft ecosystem. Google's Vertex AI agent builder has a very slick low-code interface, lots of built-in tools, Google Search, obviously.
Right. And then the enterprise software folks, Salesforce, Agentforce, ServiceNow AI agents, they're maybe a bit more closed, but super integrated into their specific platforms, CRM, ITSM, focusing on those pre-built domain-specific solutions, so different strategic plays across the board. Okay, so we've unpacked the tech. Now let's talk strategic edge. How does Agent Core actually benefit businesses in tangible ways? For our listeners, this is really where the rubber meets the road.
You're right. This is crucial. The first huge benefit is rapid development and deployment, and that means faster time to value. AgentCore handles what AWS calls the undifferentiated heavy lifting, setting up servers, memory stores, custom auth layers. That stuff just disappears. So your developers can potentially deploy pretty sophisticated AI agents in minutes, maybe hours, not weeks or months. That drastically accelerates getting new AI-powered services to market.
That's a massive change from traditional development. I think there was that specific example that really highlighted this. Innovaxor.
Exactly. Innovaxor in healthcare, they cut their development cycles from months down to days. And they did it by using the AgentCore gateway to basically auto-convert their existing OPIs into tools the agents could use immediately, securely, rapidly across sensitive health data. Huge impact.
What's fascinating here, too, is that commitment AgentCore seems to have to flexibility and tech stack choice. It really looks like they're trying to avoid vendor lock-in, which is a big deal strategically for enterprises.
It really does seem that way. For you, it means you can leverage investments you've already made in certain LLMs, whether it's Amazon's own like Titan, Anthropic's Claude, or maybe you're standardized on OpenAI's GPT-4. And you can use the frameworks your team already knows, like LangChain or Crew AI. That freedom, plus the support for open standards like MCP, gives you a lot more confidence about portability and not getting stuck down the line.
And for any enterprise, security, governance, and trust, well, they're just non-negotiables, aren't they? How does AgentCore stack up there?
It seems designed with that front and center. We mentioned the full session isolation, preventing data leaks between agent tasks or users. That's critical. There's the fine-grained access control through AgentCore identity, making sure agents only do what they're allowed to. Itaú Unibanco found that essential for compliance, and that built-in observability provides a crucial audit trail of every decision, vital for debugging tricky AI behavior and meeting regulations. Plus, the secure browser and code sandbox mean agent actions happen safely without compromising your corporate environment. Minimizing risk is key.
So it's about giving leaders the confidence to use this powerful AI without sacrificing their security or compliance posture. What about scalability and performance? Can it handle real enterprise loads?
Seems built for it. AgentCore is designed to scale automatically, from 0 sessions up to potentially thousands concurrently, so your teams don't have to worry constantly about capacity planning, which also helps with cost efficiency, since it's consumption-based pricing. You know, a typical 60-second session might be a fraction of a cent, something like 0.0000076, but that unique support for really long-running tasks, up to 8 hours with checkpointing, that's a real differentiator for those complex, heavy-duty data processing or research jobs we talked about.
Okay, here's where it gets really interesting for executives listening. What about the quantified ROI and efficiency gains? Are we seeing real numbers from early adopters of this kind of agent tech?
We are, and they're pretty compelling. Epsilon, the marketing firm, expects to cut their campaign build times by up to 30%. And not just faster, but with better personalization too, driving better results. Salesforce reported their Agentforce customers hitting 90% case resolution rates in customer support. That's massive automation. And broader industry surveys show AI-first companies seeing over 50% efficiency growth in certain functions. Platforms like AgentCore amplify these gains because they also cut down the infrastructure costs and the risk overhead.
So it's more than just automation, it's becoming a source of real competitive advantage. AgentCore seems to offer adaptability well beyond traditional RPA or basic chatbots.
I think so. It uniquely combines that openness we discussed with really robust enterprise-grade features. And one interesting aspect is allowing agents to manage cloud resources directly through something called the AWS API MCP server. So your agents could potentially act as cloud ops assistants, autonomously optimizing your AWS environment. For businesses heavily invested in AWS, that's a pretty powerful and unique capability.
Let's bring this down to earth a bit more. Can we talk through some real-world examples? How are AgentCore, or agent tech generally, actually being used across different industries right now?
Yeah, the applications are getting really diverse. In customer service and support, we're seeing agents go way beyond just answering FAQs. Think about a retail agent handling a return completely end-to-end. Looking up the order, starting the return process, arranging the courier pickup, confirming the refund, all autonomously. Box is even using this approach for secure enterprise content AI, letting users interact with their vast document stores through agentic interfaces.
That's a definite leap from standard chatbots. What about internal stuff, like the IT help desk?
Absolutely. For IT operations and internal help desks, agents are automating those high-volume, often tedious tasks. Password resets, access requests, even quite complex employee onboarding processes that might touch multiple back-end systems. ServiceNow, for example, is really pushing this vision, the agent, as the first stop for almost any employee request.
And in finance. Sounds like it enables much more personalized services needing deep data dives.
That's right. For personalized banking and finance, Itaú Unibanco is exploring agents for financial coaching, giving tailored advice based on a customer situation. Yahoo Finance is building autonomous research agents. Imagine an agent gathering market data, analyzing trends using Python code via the code interpreter, and generating investor reports.
Okay, what about the more creative side, customer-facing things like marketing and sales?
In marketing and sales automation, Epsilon's faster campaign builds are a great example. But you can also see agents generating dynamic ad copy, optimizing customer segments on the fly based on real-time data, or nurturing leads through highly personalized email sequences, like having digital marketing strategists that constantly learn and adapt.
Healthcare is always sensitive due to the data.
Yeah.
How are agents being applied safely there?
Well, Innovaxer is using AgentCore Gateway specifically for secure interaction with health data, leveraging specific healthcare protocols like HMCP. This enables things like powerful medical co-pilots to assist doctors or sophisticated patient self-service portals, all while strictly adhering to regulations like IPA. AstraZeneca is another example, using agents to speed up insight discovery from huge volumes of research data.
And beyond specific departments, what about managing knowledge or tackling really complex multi-system workflows?
For knowledge management and research, agents are great at summarizing massive document libraries, answering complex questions that span multiple sources, and performing data analysis using that code interpreter feature. And for truly multimodal and complex workflows, look at Syngenta in agriculture. They're using agents to integrate weather data, satellite imagery, sensor readings to create optimized precision farming plans. You could even imagine agents controlling warehouse robots or managing complex supply chain logistics autonomously down the line.
And you mentioned AgentCore supports multi-agent collaboration, where specialized agents team up and share memory. That sounds like the next level.
It does. Frameworks like Crew AI, which run fine on AgentCore, are specifically built for this multi-agent paradigm. Imagine, say, a travel planning agent crew. One agent finds flights, another specializes in hotels, a third looks up local activities. They collaborate, sharing information via that shared memory to build you a complete itinerary. That unlocks a whole new level of really complex orchestrated automation potential.
This all sounds incredibly powerful, potentially game-changing. But, okay, let's be realistic. It's still relatively early days for enterprise AI agents. For the business leaders listening, what are the real challenges and strategic considerations they need to keep front and center? It's not magic, right?
Absolutely not. That's crucial context. First, you have to acknowledge the inherent technical limitations of the AI agents themselves, even the best ones today. Reliability and accuracy. They're still concerns. Agents can hallucinate, make stuff up, or take illogical actions sometimes. Debugging why an AI reasoned a certain way is a genuinely new skill your teams need to develop. Also, that balance between autonomy and control is tricky. Many agents, especially early on or in critical areas, will still need a human in the loop for approval steps. And agents tend to be good at common scenarios, but can sometimes struggle with unusual, long-tail edge cases they haven't seen much of.
Okay, so limitations in the tech itself. What about the hurdles within the enterprise trying to implement this?
Even with platforms like AgentCore simplifying the infrastructure, integration complexity is still a factor. You still need to identify the right APIs, set up all the permissions correctly, and get really good at prompting the agents to use those tools effectively. That takes effort. There's also a very real skill and talent gap. We need more agent engineers, people who understand prompt engineering deeply, but also how these complex AI models behave in practice. And finally, maintenance and monitoring isn't trivial. These aren't set and forget systems. Agents need ongoing updates, refinement, performance tuning, sort of like care and feeding in production.
And what about potential roadblocks to adoption more broadly within the organization itself?
Big ones here. Trust and cultural acceptance are huge. Employees might be skeptical, worried about their jobs. And clear accountability is essential. Who's responsible when an agent messes up? The quality of your data and knowledge base is another massive factor. Agents are only as smart as the data they can access. If your data is fragmented, outdated, or just poor quality, the agents won't perform well. Garbage in, garbage out still applies. And even with AgentCore's flexibility, relying heavily on AWS as the core platform is a strategic bet. Vendor lock-in concerns are always something enterprises need to weigh carefully.
And then layered on top of all that is the complex world of regulatory, ethical, and societal concerns.
Indeed. Data privacy and compliance HIPAA in healthcare, GDPR in Europe, others are absolutely critical, especially when agents are handling sensitive personal or corporate data. You have to get that right. There are also new security threats to think about, like prompt injection attacks, where someone tries to trick the agent into doing something bad. Careful sandboxing and monitoring are essential. And the regulatory landscape is still evolving. Things like the EU AI Act might classify certain agent uses as high risk, imposing specific requirements. Businesses need to stay vigilant.
Are there any specific limitations with AgentCore itself right now, given it's still in preview?
Yeah, being in preview means a few things. There might be limits on which AWS regions it's available in. You might encounter some initial teething issues as they finalize things. Its future feature roadmap depends on AWS's priorities, naturally. And while the observability data is incredibly valuable, managing the sheer volume of logs and traces can become a cost and analysis challenge in itself.
Okay, so quite a few challenges to navigate. For the executives listening, what are the key mitigation strategies? How do you move forward with confidence despite these hurdles?
I think the key is a measured approach. Start with phased rollouts, begin with less critical, high-value use cases, and scale up gradually. Crucially, keep a human in the loop for important decisions or sensitive actions, especially in the early stages. Don't go fully autonomous overnight. Invest heavily in training and change management for your workforce. Frame it as empowering people with AI tools, not replacing them. That's key for acceptance. Establish clear governance frameworks upfront. Define exactly what agents are allowed to do, how they'll be monitored, and who is accountable. And finally, engage closely with AWS or your chosen platform provider. Provide feedback, understand their roadmap, leverage their support. Treat it like a partnership.
Right, that makes sense. Shifting focus a bit now, what does this rapid rise of AI agents mean for business leaders across the C-suite? And what's a broader future look like? This clearly isn't just an IT department decision.
Absolutely not. For the CEO or head of strategy, AI agents represent a fundamental driver for the next wave of digital transformation. It's about envisioning new services, achieving step changes in operational excellence, and potentially redefining your business model.
And for the tech leadership, the CIOs and CTOs, what's their perspective?
For CIOs and CTOs, platforms like AgentCore offer a way to deploy sophisticated AI securely and scalably without having to build all the underlying infrastructure from scratch. It accelerates development cycles, integrates with existing security, and lets them focus on the value add, not the plumbing.
Data is so central here. What's the role for the chief data officer?
Huge role. The chief data officer or head of analytics needs to ensure the enterprise's data is high quality, well integrated, and essentially agent ready. They're key to unlocking the value in your data by making it accessible and usable for these automated processes.
And thinking about the day-to-day leaders, the heads of different business units,
Business unit heads in finance, HR, operations, sales, marketing, they're the ones who need to identify those high-impact automation opportunities within their teams. They need to manage the change process, help their people adapt, and ultimately champion the use of agents to free up teams for more strategic, less repetitive work. And let's not forget risk management and legal. They need to be involved early, setting up AI governance committees, reviewing agent behavior, ensuring everything stays compliant and ethical.
so the benefits really ripple across the entire organization, touching customer experience, operations, innovation, employee morale even, and ultimately driving measurable cost savings.
Exactly. You see improvements in customer experience through faster, more personalized service, big gains in operations and efficiency by automating complex internal tasks. It drives innovation by enabling completely new capabilities. It can empower employees by taking away the drudgery. And yes, it leads to quantifiable cost savings and ROI, as those early adopter examples show.
So peering into the crystal ball,
Mhm.
what does the future look like, say the next 3 to 5 years for AgentCore and AI agents generally?
Well, you'd expect AgentCore to hit general availability, obviously, with more features, likely deeper integration with whatever the next generation of foundation models are, maybe GPT-5, Gemini 2, who knows. We'll probably see a significant move towards truly autonomous multi-agent systems, those agent societies, where specialized agents collaborate seamlessly on complex goals. I also anticipate much more no-code or low-code democratization, allowing business users, not just developers, to build and configure agents. The rise of edge AI agents for real-time processing on devices seems likely too, and just a massive explosion of specialized agent plugins or connectors for virtually every enterprise application you can think of.
Yeah, that sounds like a future where agents are woven into the fabric of enterprise software.
Hmm?
Are there potential disruptions on the horizon that could change that trajectory?
Always possibilities. Powerful open source alternatives could mature to the point where they become viable competitors to managed platforms, at least for some use cases, or technically savvy companies. The rapid advancement of consumer AI agents, think assistants on your phone or PC, will definitely raise employee expectations for what they should have at work. And there's always the potential for market consolidation, new entrants, or even unforeseen technological leaps. Some people even talk about an AI to AI economy emerging, where agents autonomously negotiate and transact services with each other. That's maybe further out, but it's a possibility.
Interesting. So in that dynamic future, how does AgentCore seem positioned?
AgentCore looks very well positioned, actually. Its core strengths, the flexibility, the robust enterprise features, the backing of AWS's huge ecosystem and resources are significant advantages. That focus on open standards and interoperability is also smart, setting it up well for a multi-agent future. The main challenge, perhaps, will be continuing to improve ease of use and offer more pre-built solutions to capture the broader market beyond just hardcore developers. Making it truly accessible will be key.
So the key takeaway feels like this. The age of the AI agent is truly dawning. Agent Core and platforms like it are going to be instrumental in building that future. And for enterprises, the message seems clear. Start preparing now to be a part of it, or you really risk being left behind by competitors who embrace it faster.
I think that's exactly right. It's a significant shift underway.
Thank you for joining the podcast, and see you soon.